Wavesound presents an unabridged recording of The Boy in the Dress by Jonathan Butler, narrated by John Robertson. Author's note. History has a very real impact on people today. It shaped how I see the world, and so much of our history would be lost without the nation's archives. The backbone of The Boy in the Dress is the wealth of information from the 150 pages of correspondence between detectives in the case files on the murder and from the coroner's inquest, which included testimonies from all the lead players, both held by the Queensland State Archives. Luckily, the 75-year embargo on a related murder file, the case of Jack Lloyd, was lifted, and the Public Record Office Victoria was able to grant me access just in time for publication. Much of the dialogue in this book is drawn from these resources, or dramatised based on what they detailed. Digitised newspaper coverage in the Australian Library database Trove was instructive, especially early in my research, and helped me paint the picture of Warwick's final days, the characters involved, and the police investigation. I have changed the names and identifying details of a few people to protect their privacy or memory. Warwick Meale wasn't a rich or famous historical figure, so it would have been impossible to gain such rich detail if not for the National Archives of Australia and their meticulously preserved documentation on the nation's servicemen and women. Another precious resource was the Australian Queer Archives, formerly Australian Lesbian and Gay Archives, which provided access to testimonies from gay Australian soldiers in New Guinea. While there are many sensory details in the book, none of them are purely drawn from my imagination. Rather, they are educated guesses based on thorough research. I watched hours of interviews on the phenomenal Australians at War Film Archive, commissioned through the Department of Veterans Affairs in 2000 and held by the University of New South Wales. Photos and videos on the Australian War Memorial website helped me make sure descriptions of any settings or objects were as accurate as possible. The weather details are drawn from the Australian Bureau of Meteorology's historical weather observations. I visited Townsville, Balcombe Camp, and the Melbourne City Watch House in the flesh to get a sense of place too. Along the way, I spoke to many experts to make sure I was on the right track, including historians Yorick Small, Graham Willett, and Noah Reisman, Army veteran and military academic Ben Wadham, criminologist Gregory Stratton, the South Australian Law Reform Institute's David Plater, author Mike Richards, and Queensland Retired Police Association President Greg Early. I also spoke to a then current signalman in the Australian Army and as many family members as I could, including David Copeland, Norman Brooks' cousin. A few people also offered some anecdotal information through ancestry.com.au. I am incredibly...
Sample complete. Ready to continue?